I was arguing with my wife the other day, and she was arguing that women were way better at multitasking than men. And I was like, no way. She said, yeah, they are. I said, no, watch. Sit down and be quiet. She couldn't do either. Straight from a customer, by the way. That was a customer send-in. Don't blame me. Yeah. Don't blame me.
Right.
That was a customer send-in.
You seen the movie Constipation?
No.
Me either. It hadn't come out yet.
Couldn't even get it out. All right, here we go.
Light talk. We got to get down to business.
Toys galore here today.
Get down to business. We get so many questions on strip lighting.
We're going to cover the gamut.
Let's do it. Let's dive in.
Dive in. We get, first of all, even on Facebook recently, everybody was saying how much they liked Haven's strip lighting and used Haven's
thank you all for that.
Thank you for
really
that.
Appreciate that.
But let's go over it because we do get a lot of questions. Yep. Our tech support here says they get a ton of questions on it, which they're happy to help you out anytime, so feel free to call that. But let's just go over the basics. So you have a strip light here. These come in multiple different sizes. 4 foot, 8 foot, 12 foot, 16 foot, 24, and 32. Now, you can cut these, okay?
Yep.
So Evan will get you a close-up later, but
it's every 6 inches.
Every 6 inches. You'll see a solder joint or you'll see some copper where it's not soldered together. You can cut either one. So you can cut it there. These are supplied with a little silicone package and an end cap. Make sure
so
once you cut it, you put a little silicone on it, put the end cap on, keep it waterproof. These are very, very sturdy. They're filled with a silicone glue. They are very rugged, very, very waterproof. As long as you put that end cap on after you cut it, no problems. If you cut it in the wrong place, you will have tons of problems. So don't cut it in the wrong place. Make sure to follow the directions there. Let's go over wiring.
Here's where it gets tricky.
Tons of questions on this. It's a 4-wire system. So we get lots of questions. Because it's a 4-wire system, we connect to a couple different controllers, which we'll cover in a minute. But the wires are black, which is common. We get
That's important.
We get a lot of mixed up in that. So black is your common color, red is for red, green is for green, and yellow is your blue wire. So unfortunately, we do not make the wire, so we kind of have to buy the colors that are available. So yellow ends up being your blue wire. Now, a lot of times, even though this comes with 15 feet, it's not enough to make it back to the controller. So what you'll do is you'll use the burial speaker wire if it's outside. If it's indoor, you can just use in-wall rated speaker wire as well to connect the wires, wire nut them together back to your controller. Now I say wire nut, we're gonna get into the J-box a little bit. Highly recommend the J-box. Do not nut these and bury them in the ground. You will have problems. So black to black, red to red, green to green, and then run your white with your yellow. Now your white, because it's connected to your yellow, will end up being your blue wire back at the controller. So very, very simple. Just keep that in mind. Match all the colors. The only
process
one left,
of elimination.
The only one left is white, connected to your yellow, and then because your yellow is your blue, your white ends up being your blue back at the controller. So keep that in mind. Now let's go over the J-box. I'm prepared.
Watch how fast you can open this up.
I am prepared today.
If
you move your head, it won't look like I just did it fast.
Maybe I turned my head real fast.
All right, J-box. Highly recommend it. Do not bury these connections. You will have problems. The reason you'll have problems is because there's 2 insulators, unlike landscape wire. There's 2 insulators on these wires. If you nick the inner insulation,
it happens very easily.
When you strip the outer insulation, you will have massive problems in the future. Not that day, not in a week, in a month, 2 months.
You'll be back.
You'll be back. So the J-box, it's got 4 different connections for 4 different wires. You can bring a trunk line in, you can bring strip wire in, you can bring a trunk line in, a trunk line out to go on to the next one. Any combination, all the colors are connected together inside here. So it's just like if you connect the common on each one of these wires, it's just like wire nutting all those together. Same deal. Very
spring-loaded
very
clamps.
Now we did have a customer that mounted this into a sprinkler box. It is not made to be mounted below ground. So this is made to be waterproof, facing in the up direction. If water can come up through the bottom, it will. It also comes with these handy stakes that screw into the bottom, so you can literally stake it right into the ground. Very nice. If it's in a mulch area or a rock area, you don't see it at all. It hides very, very well.
Controllers. Q series system, as we've explained in the past, but we have indoor versions and outdoor rated versions, right? Just came out with the outdoor duo. It's a big seller for us. Traditionally, we had the indoor versions of the Q series mini, the Q series duo, okay? You can use these outside, just make sure that they're enclosed in a weatherproof box or protected from the elements. They will fail in the elements.
Now, the reason we came out with the outdoor ones, it's a little clunky to use these outdoors, honestly. The power supply comes separately, so that has to go in the box as well. It doesn't fit in a box very, very nicely. So we came out with these really nice packages. Functionally, these things are exactly the same. But it's just a different package to allow for better user experience. The power supplies are in these boxes.
It's cleaner
so you've got a 120 connection coming out with a plug. So
we sell these probably 3 to 1 now, at least 3 to 1. So you can replace the fuse. A lot of times we get calls all the time on, well, I have no power at the controller. Well, more than likely you've blown a fuse. So we do include extra fuses. In the Q Mini and in the Q Duo, you'll notice the compartment to where we include the spares. But you'll need a pair of needle nose pliers to be able to replace that inside. So
super handy to have those spares right there. With these, you actually have to take the controller apart. There are spares inside, but take the controller apart. We can add a link in the description of the video. We do have videos on how to replace the fuse if you ever need to do that.
Now, if you've blown a fuse, there's a reason you've blown a fuse.
Correct.
So that's probably something we need to talk about as well too. Check your wiring, check your connections. Very easily, copper can touch from 2 different conductors. It happens all the time. So that will blow a fuse quicker than anything.
So what he's saying is, if you blow a fuse and you replace the fuse, if you do that with the wire still connected, you're going to blow another one immediately because you didn't fix the problem. So make sure you fix the problem before you replace the fuse and start all over.
If you're familiar with our 9-series transformers, you connect the controllers to the Wi-Fi network just like our other systems.
And with the new app, it's really seamless.
So nice.
All on the same page. Very user-friendly. You can even have image view with these lights on them combined with your landscape lights on the same image view.
Just make sure when you go through the add device process to connect these controllers to the same as your other controllers.
Same location.
That way it's one system. Same location, yes.
Sometimes he forgets a word.
A word,
you gotta film it.
You just gotta read my mind.
All right, lastly, let's cover extrusions. So these are aluminum extrusions. These are made, sized, for the strip to fit right in. And there's double-sided tape on back of the strip that will easily hold those inside the extrusion. So you can mount these in different places.
More times than not, I usually recommend the extrusions just because it's a nice surface for that strip to adhere to.
Yes, so if you're going under a capstone or something like that, a lot of times the strips will not stick to a capstone because of the surface of the capstone. So a lot of times these are used under a capstone. Now we do have 2 different covers.
So we have one that's traditional, just they both snap right on, so you can see the different sizes. But one is meant to flush mount the extrusions. If you're cutting out an area to where you want to flush mount the extrusion, set it inside, make it recessed. This diffuser will overhang a little bit so it covers the edges so where you cannot see that.
Basically, what he means is that if you wanted to cut out some drywall, we've done it in ceilings before, to where you cut out the ceiling to where there's a channel in the ceiling. This mounts up inside the drywall or inside the ceiling, and then your cover comes right over top, so it literally looks like it's built in and flush.
Now this is the standard one that'll come with it. If you don't specify, it'll come with just a standard diffuser.
Either way, a lot of times, like under capstones, things like that, we don't even use diffusers because you don't see the LEDs. These are typically used where you're going to actually see the LEDs, and you want to make it a more smooth transition.
Well, and that's another thing too with the side profile of the extrusion itself. It keeps you from seeing the LEDs, from a side viewpoint.
Under a capstone or something like that, if it's below eye level.
What else do we have here? Is that?
I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, we've got all the stuff, all the accessories come with the controllers. So basically everything you need. Something that you will want that's very handy that we brought is just a small flathead screwdriver. So with the outdoor mini, with the other 2 indoor controllers, for the connectors, you will need a small flathead screwdriver to use the connectors. With the outdoor duo, these nice same as our transformer connectors, so you don't need a tool at all to wire into those.
Yep. That's pretty much our Q series strips in a wrap.
Yeah, I think that covers it. If you have any questions,
You know where to
always
find
give
us.
us a call.
Call
Where
us.
do they find us?
Hey, havenlighting.com is my favorite.
You know where else? Facebook,
X,
the Twitter,
X,
Instagram, YouTube,
right. Just
and
never gonna get it
TikTok.
right.
We'll see you.